Hey everybody, Danielle at 𝑓𝇳�����㓶� here, your energy editor of 𝑓𝇳����𓓴.com, where we work to connect you with spirit and all the dots of the divine design. And I wanted to go live today here on my Instagram, or hello to my YouTube replay followers and viewers as well, to talk about spirit animal medicine and shamanic journey working, and to let you know about the exciting newly formatted shamanic journey work sessions that I am doing with spirit animal medicine on my website 𝑓𝇳𝓹𝓴.com. So give me just a moment to pin a comment here if you are watching live or on the replay, and then we will have some fun talking about it. Feel free to leave your questions if you are joining live in the comment section here on Instagram, or if you are watching the replay on YouTube, you can leave your general questions there as well, and I would love to answer. But as I said, I have a rather newly formatted offering available now on my website, Damsel Designs. That's DAMCL Designs.com, which is always linked in either the bio or description, depending on where you're watching this. And I, as you probably know, work with many different forms of spirit and in many different ways through the quantum fields to connect you with spirit and higher forms of spiritual understanding. I am also a quantum, shamanic, and 𝑓𝇳𝋹�㓶 energy healer, and normally my shamanic journey working is limited, or has been limited for the past few years, to those of you who opt into one-on-one energy healing and life and consciousness coaching packages with me, which are still available through the application form in the bio or on my website. But spirit animals and I have formatted a new way to do journey working with you that can stand as a single session. So for those of you who love the spirit animal medicine that I share, or for those of you who now in 3 different continents have gotten and loved the spirit animal medicine mini readings, you can now expand that into full live Zoom sessions with me, where we do a combination for around 90 minutes, sometimes a little bit more, of a reading with your spirit animal guides. And then I take you through a live shamanic journey working meditation. This is a guided meditation where your animal guides and I and your other spirit guides work to create a shamanic space in the spiritual realms for you to meet with your animal guides. And because we're doing this via Zoom, and because, as you know, I like to record all my sessions for your future use, this will be especially useful because not only do you get the benefit of live journey working with me and your animal guides, which can be so expansive and healing and informative and uplifting to your spirit, but because it's done in a recorded format via Zoom, you also get the benefit of being able to revisit that recording anytime you want to go through the process of entering your sacred shamanic space again. This is an area in the spiritual realms, in the higher realms, that your guides and I will work to craft and create for you and get you familiar with there in our session. And then, because I am guiding you through it live, but also recording it, you can listen back to that recording and get guided again to a new journey travel on your own whenever you would like to visit with your animal guides again. As you probably know, if you have participated in spirit animal medicine readings, I'm really passionate about spirit animals. I love working with all different forms of spirit, honestly, your loved ones in spirit, your higher spirit guides, your higher selves, your quantum and cosmic guides, but the animals have been especially important to me, and I really am passionate about the fact that they've, through this format, been able to reach with me multiple countries now. As I said, 3 continents worth of people have gotten spirit animal medicine mini readings, and they never cease to amaze me. I started the mini readings because it's something that I can do at a more affordable price point for people. They're done via recording, so I could do them anytime in between other sessions and things I have going on, etc. And to answer questions, right? To answer those burning questions that people maybe don't have the time or money to invest a full session in, but get a direct and helpful and guided answer right away. And not only have they been helpful for that, but spirit animals are so helpful for that because they continue to work with you in a simplified but expansive way, in which almost anyone, no matter your level of your perceived connection with spirit and energy and understanding signs or not, will be able to pick up on when a spirit animal is coming through to them. And especially once we've done the work where I've introduced you to your spirit animal or your spirit guide, that is an animal guide in certain circumstances in your life, and let you know how they want to show up and the types of ways and signs and symbols that they use to show up. It's so easy for you guys to continue connecting with them, and that's what I love the most. I think anyone who's gotten a session from me over the years knows that they're really comprehensive. I pride myself on that. If you follow me, you know I do my best to keep and continue becoming more knowledgeable on an array of subjects, and spirit animals can really speak to all of that. The knowledge that they have and the things that they can do, to come through in signs and the ways that they can guide us in our lives can really happen in such a myriad of ways, things that we would never think to associate an animal being able to help with, a spirit animal can help with in such a profound way. And sending them all across the world now, these readings, I've seen how they continue to show up for you, even if our only contact has been limited to a half-hour, voice recording without, much interaction between us as reader and client. And your animals will continue to speak with you. And so I love to be able to give you guys the clues of how your spirit animal will continue to come through and how they'll continue to guide you in that life circumstance that you asked for their help with, or that they showed up to provide their help and guidance with, or in other areas and ways of your life. And in these new live sessions that I've reformatted the way that I journey work so that it doesn't only have to be limited to the healing packages, but because spirit animals do so much of the work for and with you, they really crafted this way where what we do in a journey work session can fit into a single session for those of you who would like to do that. They will continue to show up and work with you, not only with the information that they bring through for you in our live reading portion, but also through this sacred spiritual shamanic space that we set up, that is your meditative zone. This is an area that you can journey back to, as I said, again, anytime you wish on your own, and tap into connection with them and feel their love and their presence around you, get guidance, get answers of your own, get healing from them, etc. So I do want to touch on, because I've gotten a question about it already, what is the difference between being able to do shamanic journey work in a single session like this new offering and the energy healing work that I do in package format only? Well, the difference is, as I said, spirit animals can continue and will continue to guide you and watch over you and work with you. And because of the level of energy that they typically vibrate at, they're closer and it's easier to pick up on their messages, even if you're not a medium or a psychic medium or intuitive channel like myself. So in that way, and because of the way that they've helped me be able to craft this shamanic space for you that you can journey back to for their advice and their support, it is, in my opinion, safe to be able to do that as a single session. Whereas the expansive and transformational energy work and energy healing that I do with my one-on-one healing clients and life and consciousness coaching clients, that is at a higher level. And the roots that we dive deep to heal are often so deep and connect with so many different areas and sometimes traumas of your life that for the past few years, as you probably know, I've only been advised to do those in containers which are set up on a multiple session basis, often of at least 5-week period, sometimes more, sometimes a little less, depending on what your soul needs at this time. And we do that because I like to make sure that I am with you during the integration processes of your healing as well, because we do work in a trauma-informed way. We get very deep to the roots of things, often with inner children, with traumas, as I said, with past life issues, quantum entanglement, soul contracts, etc., and also with expanding your own gifts. And that type of thing has been shown to me and proven to me, because I used to do healing sessions quite a few years ago on a single basis, but it's been shown to me that it's not healthy to do single session healings, because then the client would be left on their own for the integration process. The way that I use a metaphor to describe it to people is we move around so much energy, and if you think about it in terms of physical moving of energy, like a surgery, for instance, you would not go get the surgery and then never visit the doctor again or check up on those things again, or, you know, work with your body to integrate the healing that was done through the surgery. You would be diligent about going back to the doctor for stitch removal, going back for checkups, making sure the surgery worked, readjusting your body in the healing phase, perhaps physical therapy, you know, different things that we understand that the body needs to go through after a major energy change such as a surgery. So spiritual healing, in my view, and everybody's entitled to their own, should work in a similar way when we are doing such deep and transformational work. And that's why, you know, I've made that shift to do package works for you, that I create a specialized quantum container for you. We use quantum energy, which is the quantum field. I use 𝑓 energy for those of you who are open to it, which is an ancient Egyptian form of energy healing that predates Reiki. And I also use shamanic healing techniques and practices such as the journey working, but also very expansive things like soul retrieval, excuse me, throat chakra, soul retrieval, and different forms of that. We also do Akashic Records works and healing in those. So if you are interested in that, there is always the application form on my website, and you can get in touch with me, and then we can set up a time to talk about building you a custom package for energy healing or coaching. Hi! So that would be something different. Now, in those containers, we do work with spirit animals sometimes as well, and we can incorporate journey working as well, but it wouldn't be our sole focus. We would be going much deeper and much higher than that. Now, spirit animals can take you to the deep roots of things and take you up high to transformational work, but it's just at a different level than the other type of energy healing I do. So that would require more care for that level. But the newly formatted offering that I have available now on my website is this version where we do the spirit animal reading portion, get you the answers that you need, get you familiar with your animal and the qualities of that animal that can really shine through and help you inhabit their energy to guide you through this situation that you may be going through in life right now. And it always is surprising to see the qualities that come through of an animal and the situation that someone is dealing with and how much it puzzle pieces together. You wouldn't always think so, and I've had quite a few clients who are surprised at the animal that comes through based on their situation. But once I start going into what that animal represents, what qualities come through because of that animal, what situations that animal excels in guiding people through, everyone is always amazed, because animals most people know and connect with how intelligent they are and how compassionate they are. They actually operate on a completely separate karma system than we do as our level of conscious beings. And most people, I believe, connect with and love animals because they are part of nature, but also they help us feel safe. They help connect us with our humanity, because people sometimes hurt us, right? And we carry those wounds for quite an extended period of time until we work on that healing. But spirit animals and animals in general, we understand them more. We understand why they do the things that they do, or at least we think we do, right? We give them more of the benefit of the doubt, and in general, they're not intentionally vicious the way people can sometimes be, right? They have a system of why they do the things that they do, and it's about survival and procreating and enjoying life, right? And working with nature. And a lot of us forget those very basic needs of being alive and those very basic ways of being alive. And we forget how easy it can be to connect in with nature, which we need to be able to connect with, or else we would not be here incarnated in a body that is part of and built from pieces of nature and stardust and all the things, right? So working with nature and working with animals, even in terms of just viewing them, even if you can't get out physically, right? When I was in my wheelchair for years, I couldn't always get out physically and connect with animals, but watching animal videos, it calms our nervous system. Whatever ways you can access their beautiful energy and see it is going to be right for you at that time to help connect your nervous system back in with nature, to help it feel comfortable again in doing what you need to do to survive, but also to enjoy life and connect with things on a simpler basis. And when we can do that, then we can let the divine stream through. Often we need to clear out the things that we put in the way, complicating energies, and get back to that simple state. It's why people do breath work and no thought meditation, because we need to clear out, we need to become simple again in order to receive that higher information anyway. So spirit animals can really help with that. And then once they start to show up for us and we see what symbols and qualities they usually represent, they can be incredibly relevant to whatever we're going through or working to navigate in life at that time. Now, there typically are two different kinds of animal guides in most cases. So there will be what is called totem animals, which are animals that are with you in your field and as your guides the majority of or your entire life. They will be animals that very deeply resonate with you and have the capacity to connect with and guide you through almost all of your life circumstances. So think of it like the totem poles that we have in Indigenous American communities. On the totem poles, those would often be the most important animals to those tribes or to that area. They're the constants. Your totem animals are your constant guides. In the way that I work with people, we all have teams of guides around us all the time, and they kind of swap in and out depending on the circumstance that we're needing guidance to go through at that time. And each one will excel in a different thing. The other type of animal guide, besides your totem, who is kind of always hanging around in your field and very deeply connected with your soul, which you can have multiples of, by the way, the other type of guide would be a temporary guide. This would be an animal guide that is specifically relevant to shorter term circumstances or lessons that you have going on in your life. And we can have innumerable number of temporary animal guides because we go through and get taken down many different roads and paths and lessons in life, and they can show up just for singular lessons or certain groups of lessons or certain situations that we are dealing with in life. And once it's over, while we're very appreciative, we may not ever connect with that certain animal again, or they may just come back around when we have a similar circumstance, but they don't need to always be in our field. So I work with both and will help you understand whether a guide is more of a permanent fixture in your spirit team, or whether they are directly related to a situation or a lesson that you may be going through. Situations and lessons, as we know, can sometimes last several days, several months, several years. Really depends on you and what that lesson is. But regardless of whether they are a temporary guide or whether they are a totem, they will all be able to answer your questions in ways that will help you navigate the situation to the highest path, to your highest ability, in the qualities that you may need to get through that situation with an outcome that you desire and deserve. This can also work in terms of our journey working, because when we do journey working with the animals, which is a shamanic technique and practice, I take you through it with a guided meditation. And as I said in the beginning, your guides and I are crafting this space in the spiritual realms so that you can revisit it whenever you like. And this will be unique and safe to you. It will often be a form or facet of nature as a base, depending on which guides also you most want to work with. That will need to include certain elements or not. In other words, certain guides will need a water element around in your sacred space if they are a water animal. Certain guides will need a mountainous environment. It really depends on you and your guides, but we will handcraft that for you in the spiritual realms, and then I will take you through a guided practice of journeying to that space and help you feel comfortable in the journeying. Sometimes you will see it, sometimes you will feel it. It really just depends on you and your visualization abilities. Some people don't visualize it at all, but they hear messages and feel sensations. As I said, everyone's going to be unique in their experience, but most people do tend to visualize it as I am guiding through. And then we bring your spirit animals into this space as well. You will start to connect with them. They may do some energy healing on you. I'm going to take you through a practice of you asking them a question as well, and then getting you comfortable with how they will answer. And if needed, I will also step in and help explain what they're showing you to you, so that when you go back to the recording that we're going to be doing in subsequent listenings and you're sitting with them in your environment but with new questions and in a new time and space, you will have a better idea of how to translate and understand their messages, and you will be able to enjoy sitting in that shamanic space for yourself again at a future point. As I said, your animal can enact energy healing through a journey work session if needed, but it is not the same type of energy healing that I do in my packages, which is the standalone on the application form. So thank you guys for coming in live. If you guys have any questions about what I've been talking about, or any questions about how spirit animals work in general, or how shamanic journey working works, feel free to leave that in the comments as well. But I'm really excited to be able to host this newly formatted offering on my website. As I said, it is Damsel Designs, that's DAMCLdesigns.com, where we connect you with all the dots of the divine design, and it is right there on the main page at this time. But it is called Spirit Animal Medicine Shamanic Journey Working Sessions. We're going to be together for at least 90 minutes in that session, getting you a whole host of answers on your questions and certain topics and areas of your life. And my absolute favorite thing about working with spirit animals is, as I said, you guys will be able to continue to feel them. You guys will be able to, in a simplified manner, see how they will continue to show up for you as an ally. And through the mini readings that I do for spirit animal medicine, which I still host, that is still available, but this is an expanded way of working with them where you can journey work as well. But through the mini readings, you know, I've seen from people all around the world, once I bring through their guide in the recorded type of reading that I do, I hear back from you guys all the time. Oh my God, they've shown up for me, or I I just helped that kind of animal on the road last week, and I used to collect figures of them when I was little. And it will make sense that your guides have been around for you far before you ever found and came to me for a reading with them. And that's my favorite thing, because spirit is timeless. They know to work with you long before you know to work with me to connect with them. And they've been with you before, and they will be with you after. Someone comes to someone like me to help with perspective and translation, basically. I am the channel, helping you get a clearer understanding or a clearer message from them. But they are yours. They are in your corner. I'm not making that happen for you. I'm helping facilitate you understanding your energy and your guide's energy, and bringing more clarity and perspective and experience with the messages or energy that they want to share and have already been sending you. So I love when I hear back from people that the animal makes so much sense because of childhood experiences that they had, or physical experiences that they've had in the past few weeks, or now because of emojis, people's spirit animals can be showing up to them through the way other people text you, right? Other people could be texting you and just put an animal emoji because they feel like it, or they press it accidentally, and it's from your guide, and you didn't even realize until you had this reading and you connected with that perspective. So there are so many ways that your animals can continue to show up for you. As I said, with the emojis, that's usually a fun one, and people are really shocked and surprised. But in physical life, your animals can show up for you. Now, it's not uncommon for people to get exotic animals. I mean, I've worked with everything from insects to dinosaurs. Every animal guide that comes through for someone is going to be unique to their energy and their circumstance. So it's not going to be necessarily an animal that is A, still alive, or B, in your direct vicinity or in the vicinity of a place you're visiting. It could be, and they could show up physically for you, but they could also show up for you in dreams, in visions, in journaling, in different types of meditations that you do, or because almost all of us are looking at screens at some point during the day. They can show up in your social media feed. They can show up if you watch animal videos or nature TV shows. They can show up in magazines, in books, in songs, on billboards, things when you're driving, really anywhere, in order to get you a message and let you know that they're still with you. They could even show up in jewelry. This is my lion ring that some of you know I wear. My lion is one of my totems. It's in my logo, those lion eyes of Sekhmet, who is the lion goddess of ancient Egypt, and I am Danielle, like Daniel and the lion. So lion is one of my totems. We all work with a myriad of animals. Some of us have more totems and animal guides than others. It depends on you and your path. I have several that I tend to work with repeatedly, which I'm sure if you tend to see the type of animals that I post in my Instagram stories, you know what some of those are, because they show up for me quite a lot, but also randoms show up so that I can deliver them to someone watching. So I work with several different kind of communities personally, also several from each sort of element base. So elements being air, water, land, not so much fire, although animals do connect with fire element, but obviously we don't have any animals that we know of in the physical world that work with fire. Mythical animals sometimes can come through if you are a fanciful, loving person. That has happened before, and it is possible. So don't think you're strange if you felt a mythical animal come through as a spirit guide. It certainly does happen. It's not very common, but it does happen. So they will connect with elements, they will connect with chakras, they will connect with lessons, they will connect with masculine or feminine. It really varies and depends, and is limitless, the type of information that they could bring through. For example, most of us in the public lexicon will know the term spirit animal, and I was talking to a friend and client actually about the fact that spirit animals have become kind of a joke in the past few years, with it becoming popular to say things like, oh, so-and-so, meaning a person, is my spirit animal. No, that's not correct. That's not really respectful to the energy either, because a spirit animal is a guide. Spirit guides are not embodied any longer for a reason, and they are part of a sacred space. So I understand, and it's helped to make it popular, I guess, for people to look up, but I'm not so appreciative of that. I've also been in touch with people who are not big fans of people who are not of indigenous descent working with spirit animals. I'm not of that mindset because I know that I have trained very respectfully. I wasn't actually given a choice to go into training. They chose me. I suppose on a higher level, it was my choice. So we do all have quantum consent and choices all the time, but it was my path, and I've been very dedicated to it, and I study every day of my life for over 20 years now, and I understand that not everybody is going to be comfortable working with someone who it's not in their physical bloodline to work with spirit animals in the way that it is publicly perceived, but in actuality, every culture and every bloodline throughout the world has worked with spirit animals in some form, some way, even if they have not called it spirit animal. Because look at the way that people make family logos for themselves, not logos, emblems or crests, family crests for themselves, right? For hundreds and thousands of years. Almost every one of them has animals on it, right? Still to this day, the royal family uses two animals, one of them mythical for Scotland, they use the unicorn, and one of them the lion. In every culture throughout the world, we have drawn animals. So it really, in my opinion, does not matter what your bloodline is. Animals have worked with us forever. They represent qualities and beauties and abilities and intelligences that every one of our ancestors have connected with on some level, and nearly every religion in the world also uses some animal at some point to symbolize their form of deity or one of their forms of deity, right? In Hinduism, we have many animals that appear. We have the monkey with Lord Hanuman, who is an avatar of Lord Shiva. We have the elephant with Lord Ganesh, who you guys know I love both of those. Obviously, in ancient Egypt, we have a whole host of animal heads on our deities. We have the lion, as I said, for Sekhmet. Lion also represents Ra and Bes, and so many beautiful 𝑇�𝑓𝑛𝑘𝑓 and so many of our deities in Egypt. And also, we have the falcon in Egypt for Ra, for Horus or Heru. We have the vulture in Egypt for Mut. We have the cow in Egypt for Hathor, and so many different types of birds represent Isis or Osset. Obviously, the ibis represents Thoth or Tahuti. We have an animal for every deity in Egypt, basically. In Christianity, we often use the dove, which used to represent the divine Sophia, and now in much of Christianity represents the Holy Spirit. We have the bull that represented ancient cultures when Moses actually took the people out of the age of Taurus, or out of the age of the bull, and Moses used a shofar or a ram's horn. So we have animal symbology in every culture and every practice and tradition throughout the world in some form. So it's a pretty safe way of transferring religious work to spiritual work. Obviously, in Indigenous American tradition, it's more known as spirit animals, but Celtic tradition has worked with spirit animals. Really, you're harder pressed to find a traditional path that has not worked with animals, it's very, very rare. Even in Buddhism, we have animal symbology show up. So our ancestors and our spirits have always been drawn to this, and it is a wonderful way to bridge the gap between your spirituality, if you have any, and your religion, if you have any. And I've never had a problem with someone who was religious working with spirit animals. Obviously, your beliefs are your own. I respect those, but I have worked with people of all faiths throughout the world, and spirit animals are a really safe and gentle way, in my opinion, to connect with spirit and the spiritual realms and the nature realms and the realm where our higher self and so much of our soul resides, where we can connect with them and receive their help and guidance and healing, and then start to bridge the gap to our physical experience here and make it more a part of how we allow ourselves to be guided and supported throughout our day and throughout our path and throughout our life. So I love spirit animals for that. Quite honestly, spirit animals saved my life on more than one occasion, and so I often also refer to them as animal angels. Whether you resonate with that term or not, that's fine. Whether you believe in angels or not, that's fine. But I would love to help more of you connect with this beautiful realm of energy, and to do it in this live Zoom format. As I said, we're going to spend at least 90 minutes together. We're going to do a wonderful reading that's going to get you so much information, get you familiar with the qualities of your animal or animals, depending on the type of questions you ask and the place you are in your life. Sometimes several will come through, really just depends on you. We usually focus on 1 to 3 areas of life. That's a guide, but every reading and session is unique. And then, as I said, we move you into the Shamanic Journey Working section. I take you through that guided meditation. We craft your spiritual space and get you in touch with how to visit there and journey there on your own as you go forward on your path, whenever you need to receive more answers or receive more healing. And in between these journey work sessions, if you like, there are the spirit animal medicine mini readings available when you just have a fast question. If you want to make more sense of guidance you're getting, you can always reach out for those and get that back through email in a matter of hours. But for those of you who are ready for this new upgraded level, which, as I said, Journey Working with me has previously only been available to my energy healing clients, and normally people have to opt in for the expansive energy healing containers or consciousness coaching containers to be able to access that. So for those of you who've been wanting to do that but haven't been ready for the package yet, you can jump into this single session and journey work with me and your spirit animal guides. There is a payment plan available on every item on my website over $50, so feel free to utilize that if you want and need to. We use Affirm currently on my website to do that, so it is a safe and trusted resource that some of the major retailers use as well. And there is a no interest option. There are options with interest if you want to stretch your payment out longer. That is between you and the payment module system, and you can choose whichever one you like. And after your first payment, you will still be entitled to your full reading session. So the way it works as of now, because I don't have a scheduler on my website at this time, is you go to my website, 𝑓𝇳𝋹𝓃𝓴𝑑𝑒signs.com. You can search for this offering or other types of sessions I have as well. I have the quantum reading session where we work with your spirit guides of other kinds, as well as your loved ones in spirit and your higher self. I also have Akashic Records readings and past life readings available, passion pattern readings, starseed support readings, twin flame transition sessions. There are a whole host of offerings on my website of different types of sessions. So whichever one of those that calls to you most, or this new spirit animal medicine shamanic journey work session, hey Jim, you can pick that out, you can purchase. I will email you back within a few hours, and then we will schedule at a time that is best for you. I currently work with people all over the world. Every time zone is accommodated. As long as you speak English and are, able to connect in through the internet, we can hook you up with a session. We will find the best time for you. I do currently, just to let you know, for journey work sessions and shamanic sessions such as this, I only do a limited number of those per week because it is a much more expansive energy. And I have to also, bear in mind my healing clients that need more energy as well. So sometimes, depending on the week that you're looking to schedule, that week might not be available, might be busy. So at this time, I'm booking between 1 and 3 weeks for this type of session, or longer if you want to buy now and book later and book on a special day like your birthday or something. That's fine, and we'll accommodate that as well. But yeah, you just hop on the website, you purchase the session, you can use the payment plan if you like. After your payment goes through, no matter how you use your payment, I will email you back. We will set up a schedule. I will send you a Zoom link. If you prefer not to be physically on camera, if that makes you uncomfortable, that's fine. You can shut your camera off, but I do host all the sessions at this time on Zoom so that you can see me as well, and so that we can utilize that record feature, especially for this format, so we can make you a video of this type of working and you can connect in with that video. That video is sent to you after our session via download link, and it is yours to keep and kept private forever. That's something that's also very important that I love my clients to know. I don't share my client information. I'm not the type of reader or coach who's going to get on and say, look who my client is, or guess what happened with my client. If I do share something, it's with permission and it's anonymous and in ways that, nobody's going to know who it is. And I work with families, I work with spouses. Nobody knows the contents of your session but you, me, and spirit, unless you have chosen to share that information, which is obviously always up to you. But privacy, I take that more seriously than priests that I have known. So I really appreciate those of you who trust me with such deep levels of your life and to bring through higher forms of information for you, and I love you and respect you and stand in that space with you. It's not uncommon for people to cry in session or, hear or say things that nobody else has heard them say before, or us to discuss things that have never been spoken out loud before. And I take that very seriously. As I said, I do so with a trauma-informed background, and I want you to know that no matter what type of session we do, whether it's a single session, a mini reading, or going the full Monty with energy healing or coaching with me, you and your information are respected and safe. And no matter how many people we know in common, or how many family members, or whoever recommended you to me, or what have you, your information is sacred to you. And I really respect and appreciate you guys. And I'm so grateful to work with so many of you. We've reached, I think my website said recently, over 86 countries have visited me on my website, 𝑓𝇳𝋹���.com. I know that I've worked with several countries and continents already personally on a one-on-one basis, and honestly, the animals have been a big help in that. We've worked with animals from every continent, from every time period, and it's always fun. And I love the ways that I get messages back from people, sometimes a really extended period of time later, and they're like, oh, my animal showed up and did this for me, and it was amazing. And I love those stories, because I know that for me, even in terms of my healing, there were certain points of my trauma healing where spirit animals were the only ones who could get through to me. And I, not to brag or anything, but I've spoken to pretty high up the ladder in terms of energy. I've always dealt with energy in various forms, many forms of deity, etc. But there were certain points of my trauma, my personal trauma healing, where the only energies that I would consciously take a message from during certain parts of those low points were the spirit animals. And they really spoke to my heart, and no pun intended, my spirit, and lifted it in ways that felt so good and so necessary and so resonant and relevant and helpful to the experiences that I was going through here on earth. They were so much more easily connected and translated than even some angelics at some point, because, you know, I have communicated with angels since I'm a little girl. Sometimes I had to remind them I had a body to take care of. I needed sleep. I had stressors, you know, I needed food. I needed to stop channeling and transcribing or whatever and take care of a physical body. And angels, not all the time, but sometimes they don't remember to understand that, because most angels have not been physically embodied. And so it's a different experience communicating with angelics or other types of guides than it is communicating with spirit animals. And it brings me so much joy. It's why, even though, you know, I'm a quantum physics geek and an energy healing geek and so many different things that I get geeky and dorky about, and I'm constantly researching and reading and learning and adding to knowledge about as many things as possible, because it helps me help more of you, right? And I enjoy it. But even with all that, getting back to the simplicity of animals, and that's why when I share animal stuff, like in my Instagram stories, I know that it's gonna reach someone that's gonna send a message, sometimes quite a bit more powerful than I or anyone could write down and translate in words. It could be the exact energy that one of you watching stories needs to be boosted in strength or wisdom or healing or perspective or fun. You know, whatever someone is needing at that time, there's an animal with a quality that will help. And it's good for our nervous systems, quite honestly. It is why, when I was healing my nervous system through the most traumatic experiences, spirit animals showed up for me so deeply. And that trauma was part of a shamanic initiation for me, you know, to be a shamanic practitioner for and with you guys. And I was journeying my whole life without realizing it or without calling it a shamanic journey. And now that, regardless of, you know, whether people agree that people of my coloring should call themselves shaman or not, in my opinion, and with all respect to our indigenous of every land and that bloodline tradition, there is also, in my opinion, a spiritual line tradition of ways that your spirit is meant for and called to this and initiated in it and trained in it. And yes, we can do that with physical people as well. But as someone, even before I had access to that, who was continuously trained by spirit, quite a lot of you know I was paralyzed during certain points, or semi-paralyzed during certain points of my life, and bedridden for years at a time. And during that time, I was journeying and I was being trained spiritually. And during a point when my nervous system was really, really burnt out and traumatized, the animals started coming through more strongly, and it was so healing for me. And it's why I'm so passionate about, you know, if I see or have an animal video that I know is inspiring or helpful or healing, whether that makes sense or translates or not, it's something that's going to be good for someone's nervous system out there. And with the way our world is and works, where we have so much negativity stimulating our nervous system on a daily basis, I am really honored to be a facilitator and have as one of my gifts and part of my gifts to be able to work in this shamanic way with spirit animals as well, and to be able to help you tap into their energy or to be presenting of their energy, so that you can tap into the ways that those specific animals can be helpful to you and to your nervous system and to your healing or to your level of awakening, which we go through several awakenings in life, or to your awareness expansion or gift expansion or whatever it is. There is an animal that can guide you through that experience and help you feel more empowered in it. And another thing that journey working does is to get geeky and tie it in with the way that I love to work with the quantum field and quantum energy and stuff like that. In quantum particle physics, there is, hey Angel, in quantum particle physics, there's a phenomenon known as virtual states, where particles can go in and out of states of being. And something that happens with working with spirit animals is we can inhabit more of their state. In other words, when we want to inhabit more strength or exhibit more strength or present as a stronger person and see how that feels to bring out more of that strength or build more of that resource data bank of strength within us, we can work with an animal that has the type of strength that we need and start to take it on. We can literally step into their virtual state, into their state of being, because that energy that we're seeking is already natural to them. So in talking about strength, that could be something like lion, that I work with and have as one of my totems. It could be elephant, right? Elephant is strong in a different way than lion is strong. It could be, an avian. It could be an eagle that is strong in their talons. It depends on what you need strength for. But whatever animal has the type of strength that would be best suited for you will show up for you. And I can be the translator of that experience and help you connect and communicate with them. But also in our journey working, I can teach you how to step into their virtual state, so that when you're going through situations in life that would benefit from you having a quality that is already natural to who they are, you can step into their energy field and bring that more into yours until you learn that quality and level of energy or cultivate enough of it within yourself. And this is something that I love to teach people how to do, because we all go through points in life where we need or feel like we need more of a support system, right? And the way that it works for many spiritual people or awakening people or people on a healing journey or consciousness journey, whatever you like to label it as, is that we kind of fall in and out of favor with working with people in terms of, if we're really energy sensitive people, if we're really committed to the healing journey, sometimes there are groups of people that are only around for certain unhealed versions of us, right? And so we don't always, as spiritual people or as people committed to our healing, feel as supported as other people may, or as we should, or as we want to. In terms of our lives, spiritual people tend to go through more battles or tests or obstacles or lessons or whatever you like to call it. Spiritual people tend to have more things going on in their life, right, than average, although average people can work with spirit animals as well. But those of you who are here are spiritual to some degree. And when you have bigger or more difficult or less understood life lessons, sometimes you go through periods of your life where you feel less supported, whether that's less supported from the people in your life, from the lack of people in your life, or even from God, creator, higher power, however you see that to be, depending on what your struggle or issue is. And so having more support and having access and awareness to more energies and positive, trustworthy energies in your corner is never a bad thing, in my experience. Just like having more spiritual tools in your spiritual toolkit is never a bad thing, which is why I, work with so many different types of modalities and pantheons so that we could find and create and craft the tools that are right for you or whoever I'm working with, no matter what their experience or area of the world is. And so working with spirit animals, you have a much bigger grid or network of support system around you, because suddenly you have access to this field of energy and understanding that can stand with you in circumstances that feel more connected to this grounded, dense experience that we're having, because we can see images and examples of them that are still here embodied in physical reality. So it just feels different to have it and work with a spirit animal guide. Not better, not worse, no hierarchy stuff, but it feels different and sometimes more helpful to work with a spirit animal guide in certain circumstances, because we still have so many grounded physical, this density level examples of them. Whereas our spirit guides have probably not been embodied for hundreds or thousands of years. Our starseed guides definitely don't have that grounded quality anymore. Angelics, like I was saying, don't really always understand what it is to have a body. So they're helpful and useful and wonderful and supportive for so many other higher consciousness things. But spirit animals can help us, especially if we're not really comfortable with our body, or if we're not comfortable with this embodied experience, or if we're just disheartened with the earth experience and feel so stressed out or concerned about what's happening on earth and what's going to happen with planet earth and our earth societies and the way that the whole planet is going through these global shifts, or new earth is a popular term, so many things, right? Spirit animals can help for those of us who have anxiety or lack of support with those earthly things, because we still have so many earthly examples of their animal, earthly embodied animal counterparts. We can see them. Sometimes we can touch them if they're a safe animal to touch. And it helps us feel more connected with all things, in my experience. And so this way of doing the journey working, where we step into their virtual state, can help us to feel more embodied, which is a problem for empaths and spiritual people, right? We have difficulty grounding in a lot of cases, or we just don't want to. Like, we see the density and the things going on these levels, and the harshness of Earth life. Sometimes there's, I know that I didn't want to ground for many years of my experience. Like, it wasn't comfortable for me, but we need to. We need to be able to ground in order to ground the good things for us too. And so connecting with nature and connecting with animals really helps with that. And doing a journey working, we're literally bridging the gap between you and your higher consciousness and awareness and those higher levels of being, because we're crafting the journey working space through the heart and through that higher spiritual experience. But we're also doing so in a nature environment. We're co-creating a nature environment for you there that will resonate with things that you can find here on earth, right? So many things we're meditating about are things that we can't necessarily find yet here on earth, right? We meditate sometimes about being in a very etheric place, which is wonderful and healing in its ways, but sometimes it can make you feel more lonely in coming back to the grounded earth experience. When you, as someone who's traveled to the other side, I know that sometimes I felt more lonely coming back to this physical life experience and not being able to quite find anything here that resonated with what I experienced in the upper realms. So being able to craft this shamanic space where it can link to a nature place, that maybe someday you find a place that really mirrors that for you. And you can go out in nature and connect with that, and then you can go into your shamanic space and connect with those elements there in an elevated way, where you could be getting your own messages there as well, where you can sit in that space for energy healing, or where you can walk in that space with your animal guides and learn through our time together how to step in to their virtual state, so that in any situation that you're going through in life, if you need their quality, you know how to quick snap into that strength or snap into that wisdom or that perspective or that levity, you know, whatever it is, that quality of your animal guides that you may need, you can step into and inhabit that and have that flow more easily to you in the situation that you find yourself in. And also you can cultivate more of those experiences within yourself and more of those qualities within yourself. And it helps you, in my experience, be more of a healed and complete and empowered person. And so that's why I'm really excited that the animal guides helped me craft this newly formulated offering for you so that we can do a combination spirit animal medicine reading and shamanic journey work session. As I said, it is available now on my website. You can use payment plan if you like, and offerings are available for sessions as this. I believe I do have some time still this coming week. Currently, as I said, I do book this session, this type of session rather, a limited number per week because we're spending more time together in this type of session and we are spending more energy in this type of session. So bear that in mind, but we will find you the perfect time no matter where you are in the world. I will email you back after you make your purchase and we will set up your time and your Zoom session, which you will get the recording of as well, so that you can continue working with your guide in that capacity. So thank you guys who have joined me here while I was live on my Instagram, and for those of you who have spent this time with me on the YouTube replay, if you're watching on YouTube as well. Before I wrap up, does anyone who's here live on Instagram have any questions about anything I've been discussing today or about spirit animals or shamanic journey working in general? I would be happy to answer those before I sign off for the night if you like. And just to let you know, if you didn't hear me earlier, the spirit animal medicine readings, mini readings, are still on my website. I know you guys love that. I'm not discontinuing those. They have adjusted slightly, but they are still there and will still be sent out in hours. This, as I said, is just a more expansive offering where we do the journey working in addition to readings as well, and we do this one live. It's currently on the main page of my website, or you can go to that spiritual session section anytime. And it will be linked in my bio or the video description, depending on where you are viewing this on. If you would like to work with me as a consciousness coach or as an energy healer beyond session work and through quantum and 𝑓, as well as other shamanic needs, you can use that application form. I do have spots available for summer for my energy healing one-on-one spots if you like. So use that form that is linked on my website or in the bio or description, and I will get back to you and we will talk about setting you up with a custom container. In addition to the spirit animal readings, as I said, you can also participate with quantum reading sessions in which we speak with your other types of spirit guides, your own higher self. We look at your quantum energy field. We often pick up things about your different energy bodies as well as physical body, and we connect and communicate with your loved ones in spirit through quantum sessions as well. I also do past life and Akashic Records readings and different types of spiritual sessions that are available on my website, 𝑓𝇳𝓹𝓃𝓓𝓴. There you will also find enlightened merch, some of which donate to charity with part of the proceeds, such as my Sabra breast cancer campaign and Solidarity Pride campaign and different things that I have as well. There is also an Indigenous energy art campaign that partially donates to help our Indigenous communities. So there's a whole host of things that you will find on my website that will be enlightening to you, I'm sure, but the sessions and the energy healings are my main source of pride and joy and mission in helping you all. So I love working with you in this way. Thank you for showing up and being here as a follower or subscriber. I hope to talk with you or work with you soon. I'm going to close out this session for the night. Be blessed with love, light, and light codes. Love, Danielle. #Damsel at 𝑑enlightened_edits of damseldesigns.com, connecting you with all the dots of the divine design. And remember to be an Instagram subscriber if you want to catch me next time I'm live.